Concern for a student. When Rabbi Akiva Eger gave a shiur, a lecture to the young men of his yeshiva, a certain wealthy businessman made sure that he was always present to listen very carefully. This gentleman, Reb Alter, was very close to Rabbi Akiva Eger, and made sure to have his business matters attended to by others for a few hours each day, so that he could attend and review the shiur. One day Reb Alter was delayed by more than half an hour because of a pressing business matter. As soon as he could get away, he came running to the yeshiva in order to hear the last part of the shiur. To his surprise, however, when he came to the shiur room, it was empty. Puzzled, he went to the beis medrash, the study hall, to ask what had happened. Upon arriving, he found everyone in a turmoil. "What's going on?" he asked. "Where is everyone today?" After some confusing and contradictory stories, he was able to determine that indeed there had been a shiur. However, about 10 minutes into the shiur, a young bacher had asked a question to which Rabbi Akiva Eger gave a prompt answer. The bacher did not understand the reply, and he asked the Goyen for further explanation. Rabbi Akiva Eger went over his answer patiently once more. Again and again the boy tried to grasp the explanation, but couldn't. To his credit, he did not give up. He desperately wanted to understand, and persisted in asking, arguing, and verbally fencing with Rabbi Akiva Eger. It was a hot day. Rabbi Akiva Eger had not been feeling well, even before the shiur, and in great frustration at not being able to make the Talmud understand, he fainted. The fainting, however, heralded a more serious physical reaction, and soon Rabbi Akiva Eger was finding it difficult to breathe. The Bachrim ran to get a doctor, who came at once. He ordered that the Goyen be taken home. But instead of reviving at home, word had it that the Goyen's condition was deteriorating rapidly. Reb Alter thanked the student for the information and then asked, what was the question the boy had asked, and what did the Rebbe answer? The bacher couldn't believe his ears. Now, with the Rebbe so sick, what difference does it make what the question was? Now it was Reb Alter who persisted, and finally found someone who would repeat both the question and the answer. Reb Alter listened, shook his head in disbelief, and said, I can't understand it. The Rebbe was right. He answered the boy to the point. Reb Alter then rushed to Rabbi Akiva Eger's home and found that the situation had worsened. Family members had already been summoned to come to the bedside, and even the Chevra Kadisha had been summoned. Candles were lit, a tradition followed by some in the room of a dying person, and people stood around reciting Tehillim. Reb Alter glanced at his Rebbe lying in bed and noticed that he was murmuring some words. He pushed his way through the family members who stood around the bed and bent his ear to hear what Rabbi Akiva Eger was saying. Rabbeinu Shel Olam, please let me live in the zechus, the merit of the Torah that I repeated to the bacher, for it was truth. And besides, if anything should happen to me, the young bacher will not be able to live with himself. Always blame himself and say that I died because of him. When Reb Alter heard these incredibly touching words, he stood up straight and announced, You can put out the candles. The Rebbe will have a refuah shalema. The Rabbeinu Shel Olam will surely listen to such a selfless prayer. And he did. Shortly thereafter, Rabbi Akiva Eger recuperated and eventually returned to saying his shiur.